Hi, welcome to Sugar Free. Thank you for joining me. This is the weekend reading for Saturday the 28th, Sunday the 29th, and I'm taking this through to Monday the 30th of November because we've got that full moon, which is eclipsed in Gemini on the 30th, and I think basically, okay, it's all running together. Now, I was doing a series of readings sign by sign. I might continue with that over the weekend. But there was a basic theme that was emerging, and it was about saying what you mean and meaning what you say. And the fact that if you basically stick to that, you cannot go wrong, whether you say anything or not. Because this Gemini full moon on Monday the 30th is all about communication. And there were themes coming out about hesitation, about speaking, whether one had the right to speak, whether one had the authority to speak. I got halfway through them. I started with Aries and I got through to Virgo. But I realised basically it was the same thing coming up over and over. And I kind of thought that was a bit, I don't know. Anyway, I might finish it. So I'm just doing a general reading for everyone for this weekend and through to this full moon eclipse in Gemini on Monday the 30th. I've already got one come out. Okay, right, I'm just going to put them down. I've never done this before. Okay, I've just whacked 5 cards down on the table face down. Let's see what we get. Okay, flipping heck. Right, got Judgment. When all is said and done. This is all about communication, this full moon. What's said, what's broadcast, what's written. Now, the ancient Vedic spiritual tradition, the yogic spiritual tradition, has a whole goddess for speech. One of the oldest goddesses in the world of goddesses. And her name is Vak, V-A-C or V-A-C-H. That's the origins of our word voice and vocal. And she then over time came to be seen as Saraswati. She was named after the river and is the goddess of knowledge, speech, music and learning and education and all of that. So it's so powerful. I was watching a film the other day, one of those silly little films that are absolutely lovely, of a child of about 6 months old, 4, 5, 6 months old, who was deaf and who had been fitted with a hearing aid. And it was one of those films of when they first switch on the hearing aid and how the baby reacts. And there was this moment where the baby realised that the thing that it was doing in its throat, it could hear. And it was like you could almost see the neural connections forming. It's like, that's me. I did that. I'm here. I'm here. I exist. And the baby was just going, ah, like this and going, ah, ah, like this. You could see it happening. It's so powerful. When all is said and done, what is the upshot? That's what this card is saying. What's the upshot? What's the text on the surface? What's the subtext under the surface? In the end, it's all communication. What is said and what is not said. You know, you get those things where where one person says to the other, "Do you love me?" And the other one goes, "Of course I love you." And it's like, that of course is problematic. Yeah. Or, "Do you love me?" "Well, I'm here, aren't I?" You know, it's those tiny, tiny little things are what's buried. It's the subtext. But when all is said and done, it's all communicated. This is huge, huge. I'm going to come back to the Hierophant because I heard something earlier that really spoke to me of the Hierophant. And I thought that's a really good interpretation of the Hierophant. And now, of course, I can't remember what it is. Hanged Man in the reverse. Tumbling out, tumbling communication. Stuff that's been held back. And held back until we're sure. Until it's been examined from this angle, that angle, the other angle. What an amazing couple of cards to begin and end this fabulous reading, I have to say. So we have the Hierophant, how belief is expressed outside of us. We have the High Priestess, it's about the inner knowing. This is about the outer knowing, when it's codified. Again, I've got to go back to the Vedic and yogic traditions. There are two types of knowledge in that tradition. One of them is called Shruti, that which is heard. And one of them is called Smriti, that which is remembered. Now, things can only be remembered when they're repeated. But repeating them is also to say them, which is to hear them. That is Shruti. That is knowledge that is passed verbally from down the generations. Word of mouth. What's heard. The Smriti is what's written down, what's codified in language. That's what we're getting here with the Hierophant. It's when we take the inner knowledge of the High Priestess and we make it public and codify it in a way that everybody can see. The Hierophant, in the upright, in the middle, the star. Nothing to hold back, for there will always be more. There's so much here. She's got so much to give. She don't need to hold anything back. And the more she gives, the more she has. You know, look, she's pouring of her spiritual wealth into that river, and it's just flowing and flowing and flowing. There's nothing to hide, nothing to necessitate any kind of protection or snaffling anything away. Freedom and hope and faith. There's that North Star. You know, we always know which way to go. We know which way to go, and we know it individually and we know it collectively. This is beautiful. And the world, oh, I almost feel like crying. This is such a lovely reading. There's nothing to be hidden here. Nothing can be hidden. Nothing need be hidden. This is beautiful. Right, I'm going to get another one so before I just burst into tears. This is absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. There might be a few Hanged Man in the reverse here. There might be a few surprises. There are going to be some surprises. But I really can't see anything on the collective Hierophant being troublesome here. Hierophant and the world, and sitting in the middle of it all, the maiden of the night, the star, just giving and giving and giving, never thinking, have I got enough? Yes, you've got enough. Will there be more? Yes, there will be more. I'm going to keep those in. I was channeling my inner star maiden there. Right, hold on a sec. Okay. Yeah. Hermit in reverse. More emergence. And it's really interesting. The word emergency is rooted in this emerge. Now, I'm not going to go off and Google the etymology of that word, but it is something to do with expression. The is always about stuff coming out. So what emerges in an emergency is clearly a situation of danger. That's the nature of an emergency. Something emerges, something that was hidden becomes seen. And I'm not saying this is about emergency. I'm just talking about the words, but I'm putting this with the Hanged Man in the reverse here. Stuff coming out and surprises coming out, and like, what? Yeah, that there's that kind of thing on the table here. This is absolutely, it's so exciting. This is really, really exciting, and it's really, really good. Really good. Okay, I'm going to get one more and then I'm going to wrap this up, because I could just sit here and yak about this forever. Okay, this concerns shenanigans, sleight of hand, and this is the exposure. Okay, what's coming out here is the exposure of a wrong 'un, exposure of a liar, exposure of a trickster, exposure of a fake, a fake. And where it has seemed that something has been done, the magician, it has not been done. I cannot say more generally than that. Something that has been made to look as if it has been done has not been done, and this is going to become clear with this full moon on Monday. End of, and it's a good thing that this becomes clear. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Namaste.